I'm Grady.
I'm Zach.
What can I do for you?
And I'm Charisse.
Did you hear him? My Siri came on.
I don't have an answer for that. Is
That was perfect.
He was like, what can I do for you?
I'm dead. Leave it.
Whoops. That's way more like a Trixie and Katya opening than I wanted it to be.
I know. I loved it. Oh my gosh. Our other co-host. Anyways, welcome to Highlights, a show where we recap a reality competition program, usually a drag one, like it's sports, even though it's not. This season, we are covering the 14th season of RuPaul's Drag Race. Last week's episode was She's a Super Tease, where the queens had to record super teaser trailers for season 14 of Drag Race. The episode actually opens up with a little bit of tension. As it turns out, Cornbread can't stand Jasmine, and Jasmine, in return, can't stand Cornbread. Jasmine, I finally believe is competing on the competition. I keep thinking I'm making her up somehow, or something
Is a phantom.
Yeah, it's weird, but she is in the show, I've confirmed, and she was in a big way this episode, but not in a good one. I can't stand Jasmine, as it turns out, either.
No, she's definitely not a favorite. That
It's
being
annoying.
said, this whole mini feud between her and Cornbread though is really dumb. Like
It is dumb.
it's so not baseless, but there's no substance to it, and it just feels really dumb.
But after allowing the queens to fight in the workroom for ratings, RuPaul finally walks in and he decides to distribute the challenge to the girls. And that involves splitting them into two different teams to film two different competing teaser trailers. And the team captains are the top and bottom of last week. So Willow and Maddie Morphisis are team captains and begin choosing their teams. Jasmine is chosen last and gets to pick which team she goes on, and chooses to go on Team Willow, which is interesting because that is where Cornbread ended up as well. What did you guys think of how the teams went?
I thought it was pretty, like, the strongest people got chosen first. I thought it was really interesting that Jasmine chose to be on Cornbread's team, and I don't think it had anything to do with the reasons she said. I think it had everything to do with creating drama, and because there were strong people on that team already, and because she knew she wasn't going to do well in this challenge.
Based on the teams, I totally thought that Willow Pill had much stronger competitors and like much funnier people. And then to see it played out, oh my goodness, Maddie's team was so funny. Maddie herself was super funny. And Angeria, who saw that coming? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Pageant queens never want to get ugly. Ever, ever, ever. You can't see me without my makeup done.
That being said, so when the teams actually begin working together, we don't really get much of a walk through this episode. We just kind of see them putting their stuff together and then filming with Michelle and Ross. And the teams, when they begin working together, hit some bumps, mainly with Willow's team, as it turns out. Which, again, she had all the strong people. The problem is then Cornbread and Jasmine kind of ruin it for everybody else, it seemed. And then it started to go off the rails in spots.
Yeah,
but Maddie Morphisis' team, oddly, really solid machine, it looked like.
Yeah, this is the part where it really felt like, Cornbread could have just dropped it and just, you said your bit and this is it. But she really, I feel like she just kept pushing. It's like, girl, you said what you wanted to say.
Right.
She heard her feedback. Now let her do what she's going to do with it. Like, you don't have to. It was like everything she did, like, bothered her, and she had something to say about it. And it was like, okay, now you're just being petty and you're hindering the rest of the group.
Yeah. And when they begin filming, it was interesting to see kind of how things landed, because I don't think it paid out for them at all, because then they tried to play it off in their skit and it didn't really go anywhere, even when they filmed it.
Right. it's like they thought that was going to be a really strong angle to play, but it was kind of dead. It wasn't the worst skit of their group, but it didn't really go anywhere either. It was very flatlined.
So when we finally get to the main stage and we get to Rue's look, Rue has got this. I don't know how I would describe it. Like,
the bottom was so ugly. We only got a glimpse
like
of
waiting
it
for
for
this.
like 2 seconds, and then the top was the best. So that's what they cut to. Thank you for the edit. Oh my god.
Yeah, I didn't hate it. I liked the way her eyes looked in it, and she looked really pretty. But
Her makeup was amazing. Yes, absolutely. Her hair was amazing. Loved it.
yeah, but yeah, the bottom was a little weird for me.
Yeah, it was like the waist down. Like it kind of lost me. I could kind of tell she was going for like, I guess like a glamazon goddess, like a disco glamazon goddess. It was kind of reading that way to me. But then, I don't know. It was like wanted to be armor, but not armor. It was but a dress. It was
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah,
I saw where she was going with it. Didn't quite land, but
yeah, I didn't love it. The guest judge this week is Lonnie Love. We did get a brief appearance by Jennifer Lopez, but it was like completely pre-recorded, nothing personal
teleprompter.
about it. Yeah, it was. She was clearly reading something that was written for. It was a mess. But Lonnie Love, who I think is trying to make herself a regular, staple on this show, and probably succeeding. She takes it very seriously on this show. It seems like she really likes being here. But she's back, and she looks really good, I thought, this episode. And of course, Michelle looks gorgeous as always. The entire episode, filming and on the main stage, like she just looks phenomenal.
she's just been looking stunning lately.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't disliked
great.
any of her looks this season.
Yeah, she's great. Okay, so then they start airing the super teasers, and Team Willow goes first.
Willow herself was hilarious and easily my favorite part of her super teaser trailer. She was so good that I don't remember much of the rest of her super teaser trailer. I remember like looking for just her parts because I saw them when they were filming it. It was so funny.
Right.
I overall though, as a challenge, I thought this was a really fun acting challenge though, because I always liked the teaser trailers and it was almost like I want to see that season now. Overall,
cool,
it wasn't bad.
Yeah, what I liked about it is it's an acting challenge, but like they wrote it and created characters and all that stuff themselves. So everybody felt at the very least, very comfortable. Regardless of
Right.
how they did, I felt like everybody was comfortable.
Right.
Well, that's the whole point, right? Was for them to feel comfortable, because sometimes they're like, oh, I can't memorize lines. Oh, it's not my first language. Oh, whatever. So if it's something that you're coming up with for yourself and you can't even do that and you can't execute that, I don't know what to tell you, girl.
Yeah.
But for sure, absolutely. Willow's the only one that I really remember besides Cornbread going a little bit over the top.
Right.
And Carrie Colby's sparkly bodysuit, and who knew? I mean, we all knew that she was going to be like, don't make me ugly for this challenge.
So Team Maddie Morphisis, I also thought did pretty well. Maddie, the dancing queen, has arrived.
That like cartwheel she did coming
Yeah,
in for the teaser
the
trailer. That
dancing
was
queen's
so
arrived.
funny.
I was dead. Like I out loud and rolled laughed, which has never happened.
I hated that they cut out her confession that when they came out as straight to her
No.
dad's. I hated
I
that.
know.
That was like the funniest thing.
I know. I thought it was great. I wanted to see that entire skit, like only that.
Right.
And of course, we did not forget the runway. It was Night of 1,000 J-Los, and there's a lot to break down here as well. So let's finally get into those real quick. So first up, we had Willow Pill, who was Jennifer Lopez from 1998. I don't remember what event, but it was not like a staple J-Lo look.
Okay, but
By
I
any
swear it
means.
was from like an MTV music video, like MTV Music Awards video. I swear she was with Ben Affleck when she wore this outfit, or like around about that
I
time.
believe it. Yeah, it was great.
I actually really like that look. I
I
mean,
did.
I know she said it was ugly, but I didn't really think it was ugly. I thought she executed it really well, and she looked really pretty in it. So I guess I get what she was saying, but I thought she looked really cute.
I definitely wrote down Mia, but that's what I thought about it the first time when JLo wore it. But I will say, I love it that Willow loves ugly things. Like, there are certain things that in my closet that I wear just because they're ugly. And I know they're ugly. Like, I know they are. That's what makes it funny.
Then we had Cornbread, who did one of JLo's Met Gala looks. I think it was 2018. I have this thing where she just needs to, I think, adjust her silhouette. But, I thought she looked okay. I don't know. I wouldn't want to say it looked like a knockoff, because it is a knockoff. Like, of course it's a knockoff. But there's something about it that I didn't like. But I didn't think it was the worst thing that came out by any means.
Yeah, this didn't hit home for me. I agree with the silhouette issue. She definitely has this problem where both because she is a big girl and because her outfits are so big, and then to have this like pinhead silhouette on top where there's nothing going on above the outfit, like her hair is always so small, it just always looks so off. And then the outfit itself just looks so costumey. I don't know, granted, the one JLo wore was kind of costumey too, but this one just came off really costumey. I don't know, it just didn't hit home for me.
So it's my favorite thing that Cornbread has worn so far, if that makes sense. The dress is okay. I understand the recreation aspect of it. But yes, her hair is always too flat. And I literally wrote down, needs bigger hair. Like the dress needs bigger hair. Like she always just needs bigger hair. And even when JLo was side by side, JLo's hair was kind of flat that night too, but she still had a little bit of volume. You still need something.
Next up, we have Lady Camden.
So I like it, but it's not jaw dropping. And it kind of put it in the same category as Willow's, kind of like meh. Like it's not, I don't know, but honestly, I don't think JLo's worn that many iconic dresses on the red carpet. And maybe that's just me. I don't know.
You know what kind of like bugged me about this one is it was the wrong shade of
true
red
too.
Orange. Is that I think it would have looked better if it was the more peach color as JLo's. But yeah, I agree. It also wasn't that jaw dropping either. It was accurate, but also not like, there were more risky options to choose from that I think would have probably read better on the runway.
Then we had Bosco, who wore one of JLo's Golden Globes outfits.
I liked this look, except her breasts look so weird. It looks like she's like literally got,
especially when she moved. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's like the illusion was so off because of whatever prosthetic she was using just didn't read well in that dress. It looked like she had two like tennis balls in her shirt.
Yeah, it was weird.
The prosthetics were weird, but also I was totally thrown off by her septum piercing. Like I could not figure out what the dark spot underneath her nose was. And I was totally distracted for like almost the entire runway by that thing underneath her nose.
Then we had Carrie Colby, who wore the Versace revival of her iconic green dress, right? And as it turns out, it is the dress that JLo wore. It is the same revival dress, which is cool, I guess.
So I get that it's the dress and that's great, but this was so freaking expected. Like I did not expect Carrie Colby to walk out in anything else besides this dress. I knew she was going to wear this dress. It was so expected. And also to wear a dress that you can't lip sync in, you should expect every single runway, no matter what, that you should be lip syncing, and you should be able to lip sync in your garment to the fullest extent of I want to stay on this show.
I almost wish she had chosen something closer to what Cornbread had chosen, because it's so much more theatrical and so less of what Carrie has shown us. and less expected. It would have been more surprising, and she would have pulled it off beautifully, because she can pull anything off beautifully. I mean, because she's gorgeous, but we're not getting anything beyond that she's gorgeous.
Then we had Georges, who wore one of J-Lo's Super Bowl performance outfits, the disco mirror ball looking jumpsuit thing.
Georges is falling into that same black hole that Jasmine Kennedy is, where I have to like remind myself that they're on the show. And it's partly because like they either bring the same thing, the same silhouette, the same kind of outfit to every runway, or like there's just nothing unique beyond what they've already brought.
It's all right. I wish that the jumpsuit was a bodysuit and that it was long sleeves. Like I don't know. I was very distracted by the neckline and how it attached. It wasn't really a halter top. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And
nude
like
illusion,
I
not
watched,
a nude illusion.
no, for sure. Like I watched this Super Bowl. I remember her wearing this outfit. Like this is super iconic. This is just as iconic as Janet Jackson's nipple coming out when she danced with Justin Timberlake. Like I've watched all the Super Bowl halftime shows almost. I don't know. I knew exactly what she was wearing. It just, I don't know. Yeah. I didn't like it as much as I should have.
Speaking of, next up we have Jasmine Kennedy.
Yeah, there's nothing that like jumps out. I mean, the dress was cute, and it looked almost exactly like the one that J-Lo wore.
Right.
But also, when she presents it on the runway, there's no presentation. It's almost like she's a mannequin, and there's just no emotion behind it. It's almost like when Orion Story comes out and looks lost. At least Orion Story looks lost. Like there's she has something going on her face. Jasmine Kennedy just looks, I can't even describe it. I'd rather look at a Target mannequin.
Yeah, it's like wearing her.
Right. Exactly.
I was totally gonna say that the dress is wearing her. She doesn't ever wear the garments except for that purple wig that she was wearing when she like her intro look. That's it.
So next up we have Maddie Morphisis, who did J-Lo's inaugurational look.
So what I've come to appreciate about when Maddie does drag is that we get to see, I feel like once every couple seasons or maybe once per season, there is a queen who just sees drag through a different lens. And whether or not that's because Maddie's heterosexual, I don't know. But it could just be that they're just a different artist. Maddie just sees drag differently because culturally they're a different person. They're not a member of the LGBTQ plus community. So they see these icons and iconic moments differently than we do because we're raised and brought up to see them a certain way as gay people. And it's so interesting to see how a heterosexual person doing drag would do a J-Lo moment and what they see as an important J-Lo moment. I've come to appreciate how Maddie sees drag and what they bring. That being said, I think Maddie would have looked fierce in what Alyssa wore. I think she would have, but that's probably just not how she sees herself in drag. That may not be Maddie's character, but he would have looked sick. He would look sick. And I think he still could have been like, I see if Maddie elevated himself or herself and really pushed it, I think that's what it would look like. Is kind of what Alyssa's wearing now and still being true to the kind of drag that they see themselves in.
Right.
I definitely liked Maddie's look. The pants didn't fit right in the crotch area. Like there was something going on weird. There was like some weird fit there. The jacket needed to be a little bit shorter because it met the pants hemline. And so it all kind of just blended together. But if that's my only critique, that's not bad. Like I really liked it. It was totally unexpected. But again, I remember J-Lo wearing that outfit. So nice, decent.
Next up we have Deja Skye. So Deja Skye wore a loose interpretation of a J-Lo Super Bowl outfit as well.
Something I've noticed about what Deja does as a bigger girl, instead of accentuating the silhouette by having bigger hips and bigger shoulders, she hides her silhouette by creating that drape thing in almost every look she's brought to the runway so far. I will say though, of her look she's brought, this is my favorite one.
I
What?
loved it. I love this more than Willow Pill's outfit. I love Deja
What?
Skye's makeup.
Oh,
Like, honestly, oh no, I was totally here for
disagree.
it. But I will agree with you, Zach. Deja Skye absolutely swamps her figure, and she adds
yeah, she does.
this layer of like, oh, I don't want anyone to see my shape. They might see that I'm a big girl. And I do the same thing too, but my shape is fantastic. And
Okay, work.
her shape is fantastic too. And I think that just embrace it. Like I don't embrace my shape because I get tired of being stared at. And to a certain extent, like we have to get over that and get used to it, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Then we had Diabetes, who also did a Super Bowl outfit.
I will say this is my favorite Diabetes look that we've seen.
Yes.
Because she looks the least like Crystal Method. Her
Yes.
makeup is different. So I actually feel like I'm seeing a different drag queen. And while this isn't my favorite JLo look, I think this is her best individual look that she has brought to the competition so far.
I wrote down no thank you for Diabetes. I wasn't here for it. Like I didn't feel like she pulled it off. I feel like the clothes always wear Diabetes. Always.
Next, we had Angeria, Paris Van Michaels, aka Angeria. She wore the Met Gala look for JLo. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. This is probably the best of the recreations.
Yeah, she looks stunning. Easily the best look on the runway. She killed it. I will say I was very distracted when she was painting for the runway though, because when she paints her face so long, and all I could think was she looks like a bird. But it looks so pretty when she finally came out. I was like, okay, I see what you were doing. But she like elongates her face when she does her makeup, and it's so distracting. But she looks stunning. Her look was stunning, but I was so distracted while she was doing her makeup.
This look is my favorite of the night, hands down, for sure. Loved it so much. But she's a pageant queen, so of course she could pull this off.
Then we had Alyssa Hunter. I don't remember what this look was from. It's not bad. I liked it. It was presented really well. I liked it when she presented it on the runway. Later on, I didn't like it for other reasons. But, I thought it was decent, pretty safe.
Yeah, I would have said this is safe, not the best, but not the worst. I liked it. It was different than a gown, and she executed it well on the runway, but it wasn't the best.
No, for sure. I totally felt like this was out of the evening's runway. This was a safe outfit. Like I would have made her safe for this outfit. The pants fit well. I loved the reveal. I loved how sparkly the bodysuit or the corset was underneath. Like it was fantastic.
Orion Story, who wore JLo's, I think it's the HRC campaign dress.
Can we just skip her in?
She does this, it's this flat affect she has. Like, I don't know what to do with her, but it's like she's dead inside.
And it reads so hard on her.
Yeah.
Like the picture I'm looking at, she's doing it, and it's so bad. It's like, are you okay? Like,
Yeah.
it's awful.
Seriously though, she looks down so much. She lacks so much confidence on stage. She is so worried about hitting that mark. Like if she doesn't put her left stiletto on that sticker, something bad will happen. And she doesn't look at the judges. She is like a 2-year-old from Toddlers and Tiaras. Like you might as well be jumping up and down behind the judges. Smile, smile.
All right. So tops and bottoms. So this week, between the runways and the super teases we got, everybody was judged individually this week. But so the tops for this week are Angeria, Willow, and oddly enough, Deja Skye, who they liked both on the runway and in the super teases. It was actually kind of a good night for Deja.
Yeah, they ate her look up.
Yeah. Bottoms this week were Cornbread, Alyssa, and Carrie. Which I agree, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I will say that's correct. winner chicken dinner this week is Angeria, who pulls ahead with her second win. And I thought it was well deserved, actually.
Oh yeah, she slayed. She definitely deserved this one.
Out of the bottoms, Cornbread is told she's safe, and the two up for elimination are Alyssa Hunter and Carrie Colby, which I harsh disagree with. I think Cornbread should have lip synced tonight or on this episode, but that's just me.
Yeah, I don't know what the heck happened there. I don't think Carrie did exceptionally well, but I don't think that Cornbread necessarily did better than her.
I still feel like Orion's story and Deja Betty should be back in the bottom. Like, I don't even remember them from the challenges.
Yeah.
At least I remember Cornbread and Alyssa Hunter for standing out for being at 100 the whole time. Like,
Yeah.
I don't remember Orion's story, Jasmine Kennedy, or Deja Betty even being in the room.
Diabetes.
Betty, excuse me.
Oh, that's because it looked like Crystal Method. You thought Crystal Method was in the room.
Exactly.
Right,
Exactly.
She did look very crystallized in the Super Tease. Alyssa is then told that she has to sashay away, which does remind me, by the way, as we were talking about it, Alyssa's chocolate bar was chocolate. I keep forgetting. The whole thing is such a stupid add-on. It's like,
Oh, that's right. They have chocolate bars this season.
yeah, it's like, why even bother doing it? Anyways.
And the wah.
Yeah, exactly. Poor Alyssa. Anyways, time for top tweets. Getting into the scoreboard. As always, these are the competitors we started with, and here's who we have left. So elimination order, of course, we had June Jambalaya sashay away in 14th place, which now puts, what's her name? Alyssa Hunter in 13th place. Almost forgot about her. As we finally start moving along this season, it feels like we're finally getting rolling slowly. Up for elimination, Carrie Colby has now been up for elimination one time, joining both Maddie and Deja, who have also been up for elimination one time each. So those are the ones that are in the hot seat for me right now. Although I think Maddie Morphisis did bounce back a little bit this week.
Yeah, she performed very well this week.
For challenge wins, Angeria pulls ahead into first with her second challenge win, becoming the front runner so far, and the first real front runner probably of the competition. And I believe she won another $5,000, which puts her total winnings to $12,500.
Yes.
Yeah, that's crazy. Cornbread and Willow right behind her. Willow came very close to also claiming that her second challenge win, I would say. So I think she's one to watch. Everybody else, for the most part, being safe. Once again, next week's episode is Save a Queen. So the queens are going to make parody public service announcements for a new charity supporting first eliminated Drag Race queens. But that's it for going into our next week's episode. So we finally have a front runner. Things are finally starting to move along. So I'm starting to finally get excited for this season. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah. It was definitely a slow burn to start with, but I'm glad that it's picking up.
No, for sure. I'm finally back in it. I feel like, The first day of school's over. We got the jitters out. Let's shake it off. Let's get to it now.
Yes, absolutely. If you would like to see any of our past or ongoing coverage of season 14 of Drag Race, you can check that here on the PG Media channel. And you can also catch other content on the PG Media channel, including my Planet Grady show, which I do trailer reactions and things on. And we also have Ghosts of Mortis, our Star Wars show, which is dropping. That being said, as always,
Thank you for watching highlights.
And we'll see you next time.